Hey gang, welcome tonight live with the Shaman. Hey, Facebook and their copyright police can kiss my ass. Oh, by the way, did I say that our channel is possibly adult content with a little bit of rough language? Not one for the kiddies. Yeah. Yep, I'm drinking water. Don't faint and fall over in it. Of course, standing temperature in my office right now is 85 degrees. But to be announced, there are things to come over the next 3 months. A lot will be a changing here in the Pegasus house. So, I've had a number of requests, and I hope that I can be heard okay. Looks like my systems are all doing what they're supposed to. So, if you can't hear me, feel free to jump up and say something. Looks like I have one this evening in live chat, I think, if he's still there. So, I don't see anybody. Hmm. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm not sure if anyone will join. If they do, they can come back and watch the pre-recorded broadcast later. Our conversation this evening is Astral Part 1. The astral plane. I'm going to start with what it is. I doubt very seriously the broadcast will go an entire hour. So I'm going to explain what it is, and then I'm going to bug her off. And next week we'll come in with Astral Part 2. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and those of you that watch later on the pre-recorded broadcast, please feel free to put your questions, likes, and comments. If you're watching the archives on YouTube, by all means, we want to see your comments and questions and ideas. Here we go. Astral Part 1. What is the astral? Well, to begin with, the astral is a plane of existence that is not necessarily on this exact timeline. The astral really doesn't have a timeline one way or the other. Everyone who describes the astral will describe it slightly different. What I'm here this evening to teach you is to give you an idea of what the astral is, right? So, like I say, it is a plane of existence that is, and you're going to love this one, it's neither here nor there, but everywhere. You can access astral anytime, day or night, as you become more adept at astral travel. Then you will be able to access astral with a simple thought for 30 seconds here, 90 seconds there, just whenever. If you have a question for your astral masters, spirit guides, council, God and Goddess, Great Spirit, whatever it is you follow, can generally be accessed through the astral if you're welcomed on those different planes. Now, we will talk about the planes of the astral in one of the other segments. So the astral is a place of existence. Now, science has not been either able to, check this out, they have not been able to disprove or prove the existence of the astral plane. let's get some terminologies out of the way, shall we? In this series, I will be talking about astral travel. You will not hear me use the term astral projection. That term was coined the phrase back in the day when the Charmed Ones were doing their series. There is OBE projection, which is the projection of oneself to another location on this plane. Or there is astral travel, which is the traveling of the spirit to another existence or another plane, not of the earth plane. Now, if you didn't get that, rewind, play it again. You can find literally millions upon millions of literature of different philosophies, ideas, and understanding of the astral plane. Back in the day, when I was first starting out, a book was recommended to me that I found very helpful in just learning how to get started. Okay? And it's called Flying Without Broomsticks. I repeat, Flying Without Broomsticks. You can Google it, it's still out there. I don't think it's any longer in print. All of the good books are no longer in print, right? Aside of that, anything else in the astral is up to you. Now, some more terminologies. We have astral travel, which is the traveling of one spirit to the astral plane. Our next terminology we will use will be the Akashic Records, also known as the Hall of Records, the Hall of History, uh, the Astral Library. I've heard it called a number of things. You'll hear me refer to it either as the Akashic Records or the Hall of Records. I tend to like to call it the Hall of Records just quite simply because it's easier for me to say. Yeah. But astral, some of the other terms you'll hear me say the crossing of the veil, right? You'll hear me talk about different veils in the astral. You'll also hear me talk about landing points of the astral. Where do you want your spirit to land within the different astral planes? Now, when I use the term different astral planes, I'm talking about segments of the astral within certain veils. Being able to cross those veils with permission. You don't ever want to call yourself going to cross veils into other planes without permission from those keepers of those veils. Simple respect. I hear people all the time go, well, I just cross any way I want to, anytime I want to, anyhow I want to. I just right off in there. Well, to me, that's like entering someone's home without first knocking on the door and getting permission to come through the doorway, isn't it? So, astral travel through the veils and across the many planes is heavily about respect. Okay? By the way, the reason I downed that first bottle it is because it contained Propel. And Propel, I love it. Really good for rebuilding the electrolytes. Heidi ho, Cindy. Looks like Cindy joined us. Anyway, so what I'm covering tonight, for those of you that are just joining, is some of the basic terminologies that we're going to use through the series of astral travel. The series of astral travel will cover many aspects. So this series may go on for quite a while. Some of our covering might only be 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or a whole hour. depending on what it is I need to cover and how much interaction I get in the chat room. But tonight, this evening, right now, we're simply understanding some terminologies, what the astral is. Next week, we will cover how to achieve astral, what it is to achieve astral travel, and some of what you might expect when you get there. But again, some of the terminologies you're going to hear me use is, like I said, astral travel, acoustic records or hall of records, veils, planes. You're going to hear me talk about gods and goddesses. You're going to hear me talk about the astral battle plane, the astral college, the entire astral community as a whole. Each veil within that veil is an entire city, forest, or type, if you will, of astral plane. Yes, on the astral you can view such mythological creatures as dragons, Pegasus, unicorns, just about any imaginable metaphysical creature you've ever heard of can be viewed and most of the time interacted with on different portions of the astral plane. Now, any of us that have been practicing for quite some time, Cindy says, "Yeah, I know about the astral battleground." Yeah, well, most of us that have had any battle training on the astral understand it and know what it is. But we'll go into that in one of the later parts of the astral series. I don't want to try to cover this in one night because it's just entirely too damn big, and I want people to be able to experience the astral for what it is. It's an entire world. I'm not going to call it a planet because I don't know. But I do know that it is an entire formative existence that there's, there's no end to it. Um, I have been consciously doing astral travel for the last 15 plus years, and I've yet to ever find the end of it. I haven't really actually looked. There are areas of the astral I've never actually even bothered to try to look into. One, they weren't meant for me, they weren't designed for me, or I simply wasn't invited into them. Um, but the terminologies that you're going to hear us use, and if you haven't watched part one and you start asking about some of the terminologies and some of what I'm talking about later, I may refer you back to part one because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time rehashing what I've already covered. So if you have any people that is interested in what astral is, how it works, um, where it is, how to access it, if they've ever accessed it before totally by accident, which most people usually have. Most people have probably accessed the astral and do not even have a clue. Highly possible. So in short, and tonight's video is going to be short, in short, the astral is a plane of existence that has never been able to be disproven nor proven by science. However, anybody that has ever had any level 1 training knows what the astral is and how to access it. People that are seekers, a lot of them that I've talked to have actually done astral travel and didn't even know what the hell they were doing. I'm told I look stuck in a loop, but I'm not. I'm looking at the live feed. No, I'm not stuck in a loop. Nope, not stuck in a loop. So, anyway, I got derailed. Like I said, Tonight's going to be a short video. Introduction to Astral Part 1, what it is. Go back, hit rewind, and listen, because I'm not going to repeat it. On a personal note, I do know that many people are still recovering from Hurricane Harvey. Um, God, my love to you, my blessings to you. Hang in there. Don't let it get to you. But with that being said, love and blessings to you all. We will see you in further weeks with further Astral Part 2, Astral Part 3, and we will keep going with Astral Parts until it's done. Okay? I will probably rename the video Astral Part 1 Intro, and I may rename the others as we go along. So hang in there. It's going to be a long series. I'm hoping for a lot of questions. And Cindy says, but question. What is your question? I do not see the question. How would one know if they are in the astral? That is Astral Part 2. See you next week here on Live with the Shaman, Astral Part 2. Have a great week.